Okay, so my name is Sahitya Angara, and I am in the Master of Science program in Business Analytics, and I will be graduating in the fall of 2020.
Fall 2020. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Still good? All right. So my first set of questions are just going to be about what you're learning in your classes. And just your interest in business analytics. So what about business analytics excites you?
Okay, so prior to starting my graduate program here, I was working for close to 4 years as a data analyst. So while there, I understood the scope of how data, or rather, how we can process data into information and use it to our advantage. So it's how we say when we read books, we read between the lines. So similarly, if you read between the lines of the thousands and millions of data points that we have, it's like a treasure trove, and we can use that to our advantage, and that's what drove me towards pursuing a business analytics program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So there's a lot of other programs at other universities that offer analytics. So walk me through your thought process when you decided to apply for and attend Smith's MSBA program.
All right, so I had to be quite analytical because I am going going for a program that is all about analytics, right? So I just
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you start with I chose Smith because?
Yeah.
So that we know.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I chose Smith because of a fair. Okay, can we repeat that? Yeah. So I chose Smith because a lot of reasons, and I could just go out and list out each one of them. So first was the curriculum. It was perfect. So data analytics or business analytics has three spheres or three realms that surround it. So one is the data aspect, the other one is the computer science aspect, and the other one is the mathematics aspect. So while there were many programs that are being offered all around the US and in other countries, what I really liked about the Smith's business analytics program was that it was giving an equal amount of importance to each one of these three aspects, and that's why I decided that this will probably be the program that I want to pursue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So since you've been a student in the program when you first came here, what stood out to you most about studying here, just in general?
Okay, in general, it will definitely be
Or
the
just say, like, what stood out the most? Just kind of like start it with the question and then.
yeah. Okay, so what really caught my, okay, I'm going to repeat that. So, what really made me, again, I'm going to repeat that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the most stark things that I've noticed about studying at Smith, and especially the business analytics program, is that the assignments and the kind of work that our professors give us, it's very practical. So having come from a data analyst background, I have worked for these many years, I was under the impression that I might come across some subjects or some concepts which I am aware of and which will be easier for me, but I was amazed by the amount of practical concepts that I was exposed to. So I learned something in my first class of a specific subject called decision analytics, and whatever I learned in that one class, I felt that I could immediately apply it to some problem that I had previously experienced in my time as a data analyst. So that's what I felt was really amazing. I could just learn one concept from each class that I attended into an actual practical scenario, and things will automatically show better results, or rather, at least we get better insights which we can use to make better decisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's been your favorite course in starting the program and why?
Well, it will have to be a tie between.
What? so my favorite course was.
Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to okay, so right now I am taking 3 courses, and my favorite course, I guess that position is tied between 2 courses, which is decision analytics, and second one is data models and decisions. So these 2 courses kind of go hand in hand, but I would say that decision analytics takes the cake, because I am just kind of awestruck or amazed, or rather I'm kind of fangirling about the kind of concepts that we are looking at. So we are solving problems about how we can schedule games for a major league baseball, right? So these are all processes that we have been implementing or trying to do manually, but now with the kind of by applying the right kind of math and the right kind of strategy, we can make processes more efficient. And for that, we are looking at some of these amazing concepts that we learn in this course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you repeat a line again because I really like it. So I
Yeah.
want you to say, like, my favorite course is data analytics because, and just focus on that program and then talk about the fangirling that we get.
Okay, yeah, all right. So my favorite course from the 3 courses that I'm taking currently has to be decision analytics, and that is because of some of the concepts that we are learning, not some, but really all. It's just amazing that we get to learn so much about how we can take decisions, good decisions, or rather informed decisions, based on all the available information that there is to us, and go ahead with a very efficient or optimal strategy. And when you see how things are being done a certain way manually, and you see that you can do it a lot better with all the information that is available to you, it's great, and it's a lot about how can we just yeah,
Yeah,
I,
go
th-
ahead.
I think I did not come up with how I could use that word again.
It's okay. Like,
Yeah,
we got it the first time.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We can always edit.
yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about faculty. So how do your professors challenge you in the classroom?
Okay, so we actually have, okay, so when it comes to the course content, it is very challenging, even for people who come to business school with a fair amount of work experience. It's not something where you just learn and implement whatever you have heard in class on a problem. You have to do a lot of thinking, and the kind of assignments that our professors give require a lot of okay, I'm just going to repeat that. So the kind of assignments and the team projects that our professors give, they are well aware that we are business school students, and we are headed for I mean an analytical career, definitely, but we are also trained to be business professionals. So the kind of problems they give us are also very, very practically relevant. So we can't just assume or take anything for granted. So we are given case studies, we are given data sets of real companies, and we are trained to think like we are actual business professionals. So it just doesn't, we are just not given any kind of leeway that you are a student, so it's okay to make a mistake. So you know what is at stake, you know what it takes to be a business analyst, so you have to take whatever information you have and do the best out of it. So every assignment, every problem set, every homework is not just that. It is you trying to solve a problem with whatever you have learned in class, and also your unique secret sauce. Yeah.
That was really good. Okay, and all right. So you've already started talking about like experiential learning projects. See it because you've already covered some of this. Tell me about a hands-on project you've done in your classes and why you found that to be valuable. So just like a specific example of some interesting thing you've done in your classes.
All right. So there is this very interesting team assignment that we were given for one of our courses, which is data models and decisions. So, as the name suggests, one of the most important concepts that we learn in this course is about decision making. And we had this particular concept that we learned called decision trees, right? So we were actually given a case about a pharmaceutical company which actually exists. So it wasn't a hypothetical scenario, and it wasn't just about us trying to make best about just doing a homework problem. We were dealing with an actual data set from an actual pharmaceutical company. Um, can I mention the name?
Sure, if there's not an NDA or anything like that.
Okay,
Sure.
so we were given a particular problem that this pharmaceutical company actually encountered about whether they should go ahead with testing a specific drug or not. And this required us to do a whole lot of thinking, and we had to construct a specific decision tree wherein we were given all the possible outcomes as well as the likelihood of that happening. So it's amazing that we have to apply a lot of analysis, a lot of math, and ultimately a lot of human logic, because the computer is not going to do it all for you. So you construct a decision tree, and then at the end you have to make a specific policy suggestion to the company that you're consulting for, right? So you say, so this is the math behind all this, and look, I mean, so it has done all the math, but it's up to you to go ahead with whatever you want to. And looking at this, I think this is the best course of action that you can go with, because it gives the best outcome of all the possible outcomes. Yeah.
Have you interacted with any notable employers at maybe like a recruitment event or just any type of Smith community event that you would like to speak about, and just maybe talk about the event or job fair, and just kind of go into more detail about how Smith sort of was able to connect you?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can just,
Yeah, you can think. Feel free to.
yeah, I can just phrase it better in my mind.
No, like you're giving some great like answers, so I mean just like keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about just like events or anything where you've been in contact with like recruiters. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Like any events where maybe you've interacted with any notable employers, or just like where Smith has kind of helped you connect with other businesses that students might actually want to work for one day?
Well, Smith has actually, Smith has thrown us into the job seeking zone right from orientation. All right, so Smith has thrown us into this particular job seeking zone right from orientation. They have we had a panel discussion on the third day of orientation with the representatives from 3 different companies who are all looking out for business and data analysts as well as data scientists, and we were actually able to get insights and learn more about their experience at such an early stage of our program. So we are all coming into this program to learn, but we're also here to possibly get a job in a really good company, in a really good position. And for that, we need to know what the job entails and what we need to know in order to get there. So Smith got us in touch with companies like Capital One, Navy Federal Credit Union, Data Society, and we also got in touch with students who are currently in their second year, who are right now having offers from companies like Amazon, and have interned at companies like Salesforce. So these are all pretty amazing. So, and apart from this, we also have a lot of events by the Career Services Office where they prepare us for aspects beyond the curriculum. So theoretically and practically, we are all getting well versed with the course content. We've got 3 courses, they're all very intensive. But apart from that, we also are business students, business school students. So we need to be aware of all the job seeking strategies and what it really takes to get a job with one of the dream companies that each one of us have. So we have sessions for how to plan our job seeking, right, strategically, and an important aspect is networking. So we had an entire session for almost 2 hours about networking. And another very interesting session that we had recently was about how we deal with case interviews, because a lot of business analysts and data analysts, or prospective business analysts and data analysts, they will be encountering a case interview in their interview process for any specific company, but that is often a step where people tend to mess up. So Smith has provided us with these career sessions where we can know about the very important aspects, or the different kinds of efficient and effective approaches that we can take for something as important as a case interview, which can ultimately decide if you're going to get a job in your dream company or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you used career services for like resume or interview prep or anything like that? Where maybe if not, that's fine.
As of now, not yet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, you've said a lot of good things about career services. All right. Okay, and I guess we just have. All right, so outside of class, like, what do you do for fun on campus, or do you kind of get out into the larger Maryland community, or just sort of do anything social around the school just to like meet other people, or do you just kind of like, I guess I'm just trying to get at like a wider social landscape outside of just like the classroom and just career. Like, is there anything fun that you just like to do in this College Park area?
Okay. Well, when I came to Smith as a MS in Business Analytics student, I did not just come to do that. I am also coming to the US for the very first time in my life, and this is also a starkly different culture from where I originally am from. So I'm also here as a tourist / traveler in addition to being a student, and it is required for students to get some recreation, or they can just go crazy. So for this aspect, we actually have a Smith's Master Students Association in Smith, where the second year students have organized very interesting events for all of us to take part in. They actually organized a trip to Six Flags, which was pretty awesome. So I don't think I would have probably planned a trip to Six Flags anytime soon if it was in my own hands, but they actually offered this trip, and because it was a group trip, we got tickets at throwaway prices. So I actually ended up going and checking something off from my I won't say bucket list, but from my checklist for whatever I really wanted to do after coming to the US. And I know that they've also got a trip planned for New York City, which is also quite great, especially for international students.
Okay. What influenced your decision to study in the DC area as opposed to like New York or Los Angeles or just like anywhere else? Like, what is it about this area that's so special?
So I decided to choose Smith for many reasons, and one of them is the location. It's awesome. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is this good? Yeah. Okay.
One of the reasons I decided to choose Smith amongst all the acceptances that I had was the location. It's literally half an hour away from the main city of Washington DC, and that's because there are a whole lot of companies here. I don't have to travel from here all the way to the West Coast for an internship or for a career fair. I don't have any kind of FOMO because we've got Amazon coming up very soon, the HQ of Amazon coming up very soon in Virginia, and many of my friends even got to.
I'm gonna have you repeat that sentence, but instead of saying FOMO, just say like fear of missing out, because some people might not know what FOMO is.
Okay, yeah.
But that was a great sentence.
Okay, all right. So I'll start over then from the beginning. So one of the reasons that I chose Smith has to be the location wherein it is literally just a half an hour drive away from the main city of Washington DC, and it's very advantageous for a student who is out to look for jobs and even the overall wholesome experience of living in the United States. So I don't really have to have any fear of missing out any internship opportunities all the way in the West Coast. I don't have to travel all the way there for a job interview. We have got so many companies, so many amazing companies right around the corner. You just have to look here. There is the huge Capital One building, and we've also got the new HQ of Amazon coming up in Virginia, which is awesome. And DC has a whole lot of companies that I can't even begin to list about where I can actually get an opportunity to work. So it is very advantageous, both in terms of me not having to shift base altogether for an internship opportunity, and it is also very convenient. Yeah.
Awesome. And so one last question. You're an MS ambassador,
I'm
correct?
just gonna hide this. I'm sorry, there was a little piece of tape that was coming
Yes,
out.
yeah.
There we are.
Okay.
Let's do it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're an MS ambassador.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience as an MS ambassador, and what you love about it. That's my last question.
I haven't started yet.
Okay, so what sort of led you to be or want to become involved in being an MS ambassador?
So I decided to apply for the position of the MS admissions ambassador because we all experience this problem of having an information asymmetry, right? So we want to do something, but we're really not sure of what to do, or we want some kind of a precedent, some kind of somebody who had experienced this, and we want them to tell what it's like. Like, we won't just jump into a roller coaster as soon as it's built. We want people to test it out. We want people to give their review about it. The entire world is now driven by other people's review of what they want to try out. And in this case, this is master's program. It's a very big milestone in everybody's life, and for that purpose, if I get an opportunity to be an admissions ambassador, I can actually get a first-hand experience of what this entire program entails and what is required from you as a student and what Smith is willing to provide to you. So it's a combination of many information elements, and these are all very important. These are all very useful for somebody who is currently in a position that I was previously in, can use to make a decision. In a lot of ways, it's quite similar to my course, decision analytics. So as an admissions ambassador, I can give you information, and you can use it to come to a decision that can prove very effective for you.
That's it.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
or-
We have one more question. Well, I want you, and you're going to repeat yourself a little bit, but that's okay. I want
Yeah.
you to start a sentence by saying, I came to Smith for the business and analytics program because.
Okay.
And you can just very short list. You've said it a few times.
Yeah.
I just want to have that nice
Mm.
soundbite starting with, I came to Smith, the
Mhm.
Smith Masters of Business Analytics program because.
Yeah.
And you can tell them, okay.
So should I say it as I came to Smith for the Masters in Business Analytics program,
Because.
or I came to the Masters in Business Analytics program at Smith?
Either one's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever sounds more comfortable.
Okay, I thought whatever sounds better.
The first one is.
Yeah,
It's
Smith.
more of a mouthful, but it's more like technically correct.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. I came to Smith for the Masters in Business Analytics program because of a bunch of reasons. Number one being the curriculum, which is quite great considering how it encompasses all the concepts that will train an individual to become an amazing data scientist. So it covers mathematics, computer science, business in a very structured way, which is extremely important. The second was I also happened to get information from previous admissions ambassador about the quality of the faculty. So these professors, and now I'm experiencing firsthand, they are amazing. So they ensure that they teach you everything that there is to be practically efficient and effective data analyst, data scientist professional. And they also challenge you with the kind of problems that they give you. So it works out all around. And the third reason that I have chosen Smith for attending the Master of Science in Business Analytics program is the location, wherein I am half an hour away from DC, and this is really helpful, especially when I'm trying to look for internships. So I don't have to go all the way to the West Coast. I've got all the companies that are in my dream company list that I can apply for right here around the corner.
That was great.
We couldn't have written it longer.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else that you feel like a prospective student should know that we didn't talk about? If not, that's fine, but I just want to make sure before we turn the camera.
Okay, I covered the course is challenging part.
We
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about the curriculum, faculty, experiential learning, and just the Smith community.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
being an ambassador. Yeah.
I can also talk about how we've got a program coordinator who is always there to help.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can add a little bit.
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. So one of the so being a business school student, especially in a program like business analytics, which is of 16 months duration, which means that it is lesser than it is of a lesser duration than the conventional master's program, which is of 2 years, but it will pack in all the content of a 2-year program. So it's going to be quite intense. Nevertheless, in order for students to deal with all this kind of pressure and to get used to the American education system, or how things work around in university in the US, we all get assigned to a program coordinator that we can actually visit and talk about, and she can give us the necessary advice. I have I have classmates from India and China and many other countries who find a great deal of comfort in actually going and conversing with our program coordinator, because she provides a lot of useful information that can be used to kind of streamline our focus and our efforts into performing better at the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she just made me think of, like, I didn't really ask you a question about, because so many of our business analytics students are international students who
Mhm.
are not from the United States, and many of them graduate and they go on to work pretty much everywhere. So
Yeah.
how does this program prepare you from like a global perspective? Like, is there anything, I guess, just like, oh, this business like locally, like how does it sort of prepare you to kind of step out and perform well anywhere in the world?
Well, okay. So business analytics is a subject which has a global scope, right? Because every business all over the world deals with various data efficiency. Okay, I'm just going to repeat that. So business analytics as a subject has a global scope, because every company all over the world currently in this era is generating a lot of data, and as as much of a buzzword that data science is on the internet, it has still not reached or touched upon every business out there. And we have got an international community in our class, in our program, and in the Smith Masters programs as well in general. So we have got different perspectives coming in from people from different countries, right? In how they can handle a specific problem in a business. So that's why we've got team assignments, which can not just give us it won't just give you an intellectual diversity when you're dealing with problems, but it also gives you a kind of a cultural diversity, because I'm sure that my friend from China has a different way of approaching a particular problem when he wants to present a solution to a business owner in China, and I'm from India, and I will have a different approach for how I want to present a solution to a business owner from India. And like this, so a kind of well-roundedness is developed for students, because they don't just get to interact with people from the US, but they also get to interact with people from all around the world. So we've got people from China, Vietnam, Taiwan, and Uzbekistan, and I guess even Thailand, I'm not sure, but we've got a lot of diversity, and that definitely helps in broadening our mind perspective. Yeah.